Welcome in, collective. When you all get in, yay. I'm back. We're gonna just talk a little bit. Funny. Today's been very funny. So many people under the effect of the Lilith Moon, and it's absolutely phenomenal to see how unaware people are. And I had to start it off like that because I've been talking with my spirit team all day about this. I've been like, what is going on today? Like all I'm doing is using the energies of Lilith to strengthen myself and to speak up. And now all of a sudden the Liliths are coming out. Now everyone's Liliths coming out. Now I got people thinking that I'm calling them mean and ugly. Now I got people wanting to fight me over comments, over what I gotta say. I've been having a ball with the spirit with that. But that's all the Lilith Moon. I've been talking about it. I've been super aware of it. I have just been waiting to see how it's gonna manifest, and it's been manifesting beautifully. I cannot lie to you all. Like the Lilith Moon has been such a transformative, beautiful energy for me. Um, but for a few select few people, they can't handle the heat. They can't handle it. But we're here. Dude, I don't even. I listen. I just think it's funny. I don't even call them haters. Because here's the thing: if you hate something, you wouldn't be around it. These are lovers. These are people that love the fuck out of me, but they'll never admit it. They can't. Ooh, they can't get enough of my energy. Because that's how it is. There are no haters. There are only lovers. There's only obsessive, insane lovers, and then there's the sane lovers that are like, hey, I support you, and like keep going. And then there's the lovers who are like, no, you can't do this because I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. I don't think like that shit though. We ain't got no haters. You got lovers all the time. Fuck a hater. We don't need them. We don't need no haters. We need lovers, dude. We rebranding people. But how has the Lilith Moon been treating you all? Lilith has been crazy for me. Like it's very different. I haven't had a Lilith experience, a Lilith Moon experience at least. This light. You know what I mean? Like it's just been light. It's been so breezy, but it's also like a little bit too breezy for me because I have too much freedom, almost to say quote unquote, which has caused me a little bit of like backlash on myself to overthink. But other than that, like it's been a very interesting moon. Like there's nothing bad about it. It's been lovely. The weather's been fine. Like things have just kind of slowly glued themselves together. It's a very good healing energy, and I honestly feel like this moon, and then we have like, dude, we have a lot of events this October actually. Speaking about it, but then on the 15th, we have another. I think it's the eclipse on the 15th, if I'm not wrong. But that's going to be interesting too. But just there's so many events that are lining up for next year's snake year. I mean, next year's snake year, 2015, 2025 and 2026 are the years of snakes. So it's all about healing, and we're literally fixing what needs to be healed with this month of October. I mean, we're in Libra season. The sun's in Leo, and we have Scorpio out. We got Mars and Venus. Venus is going to be going around different planets today. Not today, but this month. And then we have the draconian shower, and then we have the Orionite shower. Like you see, beautiful thing. It's releasing, relieving all these tense energies. Some people can't handle it, and I've tried to record like multiple videos trying to talk about it, and for some reason it won't work. Either my phone runs out of space, and then I finally got one, but it wouldn't be available. I wouldn't be able to even upload it. It's just been messing up, and I just time frame stuff with being here and all sorts of stuff. But it's such a growing, very beautiful experience. Like I've really been able to tap into myself more. Tomorrow's tomorrow. So wait, the 15th. That's the supermoon or something, right? I got the days mixed up. Tomorrow's the eclipse, and the 15th is the moon, is the fucking supermoon. Because I know we have one this month. But yeah, no, that is right. Because tomorrow is the eclipse. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. Thank you so much. I literally like completely forgot. It just went out. It went one ear out the other. But thank you so much. But yeah, there's so much being revitalized. There's like a true rebirth is really happening. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember what it is, but it's a moon event for sure. Um, but yeah, thank you so much, Cindy. But yeah, it's just like we have. I don't know, man. I've been talking to one of my friends about it too. One of my friends talked to me today, and they were like, "Dude, you were right about like something ending because something ended in their life." And I was like, "Dude, I'm telling you, like it's in the stars." So it really is just like more people are waking up, which is cool. But not only that, but it's like a reset where people are able to see how to steer the car now. Because I feel like we've been in this chariot energy for a minute, where we've been in I even got 555 there when I looked up. That's crazy. So that's like 56, yeah. So again, it's been like this chariot energy of just you have the keys, you have the knowledge, you have the energy, you have the know-how, you want to move forward, but it's just not moving forward. And I feel like it's just been this weird change of like you're moving from one place to another. It's almost like you're moving before the harvest. Because I talked a bit about the harvest too on one of the recordings I was doing, and you're moving physically so that you can match the spiritual energy of you so that when the harvest comes you're able to reap what the harvest has for you rather than what the area has. It's a lot to do with the ley lines systems and like your energetic output and how much energy you've already put in to certain areas, whether that be like a physical area or like a business or a job or a career or a hobby or however. It's like there's a shift in the energy, there's a shift in moving, there's people that are leaving, there are people that are coming. It's a whole thing where some people are hopping off the train because they can't move on anymore. Other people are hopping on the train, some people are looking at the train thinking about like what is the train doing here even. But all in all, I've been getting just so much like just happy messages. So like the divine has been really on an up and up note. Even if things have been looking bleak, um, and kind of mundane or like drowsy, on the physical, the spiritual world is like going bizarre, in like very beautiful ways because there's a lot of work that you've done. This is why I always say like there's a lot of work that people do and they don't pay attention to it. It's like this resting period is time to realize really how much work you've put into everything that you've done. How much effort you've put into defining your own truths, how much effort you've put into even like to growing, to just understanding things, to expanding your horizons, and not being like centered down to one thing or one belief or one pattern, allowing yourself to really be who you are, which is an infinite experience of everything. Which is what I love, talking about on here, is just really allowing yourself to see things less from like a dual aspect because that's so limiting that you can only see as one or the other. There's a whole variety, there's a wholeness to it, there's a spectrum to it. That's why I always say these things. Um, but again, something that's been odd as well. This is more of like a personal thing, but I'm going to talk about it a bit. I've been really thinking about the death experiences that I've had so far, and it's really shown me a lot. Like even last night, I had like a crazy ass dream about one of the times where I like had a near death experience. So that was interesting, but there is, I don't know. There's like this. I don't want to even call it like a timeline shift because it's more of like a body switch. You know what I mean? Like you're not just switching a timeline to a point to where you're like, oh, I'm consciously now in this timeline. It's like your whole body switching. Like you're not just moving consciously, you're moving solely. You're moving with your spirit fully. And not really into a new timeline, but into the flesh that was meant for you. It's a really weird thing, especially if you've been waking up feeling numb or feeling like discombobulated. It's because you're actually in new flesh. It's something about you not even being in the old flesh anymore. And that has a lot to do with being true to yourself. The layers that you shed off spiritually, shed off physically, you end up feeling newer in that sense. You end up having a better glow because you don't have that dirt, that energy that holds you back. And it's super beautiful. Just I don't know. There's a lot of struggle too, because I've been picking up that a lot. Just seeing like how things are. There's a lot of backlash. There's a lot of not understanding. There's a lot of playing cat and mouse. There's a lot of people chasing their tail almost, trying to get a certain reaction or a certain way of life to pop out or a certain um I guess route. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of people who are trying to control others that are kind of just seeing that they need to control themselves. And that's just what is going on with Lilith. Lilith is exposing people who say that they are who they are, but they're not. You know what I mean? It's so bizarre. Because I've even noticed it, and even like, I love using myself in my channel as an example. Because even going through like the comments today, there are, well, there's one person that I got to keep blocking from the channel because they have to go somewhere else and heal. I've talked to Spirit about it, and honey, if you're in here, you got to go somewhere else because Spirit does not want you over here. Sorry, I'm not calling names out, but that person knows who they are. I have to get that out because I've been talking to Spirit Team about them, and they've been giving me warnings about this person, about how they're not mentally okay, and they can't be here yet because if I start speaking to them, they're not going to understand and explode. So they got to go away. So I got to keep removing them from the channel, sadly. But they should already know this too, because Spirit's trying to show them the fact of the matter that they shouldn't be here. But someone else as well. Like, there's just a lot of people that are like weird online, but there's like, I don't know. There's so much going on in the spirit realm, and I just need to get. I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought. Right, hold on. Come on, spirit. What's up? What's going on? Oh, I need to ring the bell. That's what I need to do. Right. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot to ring the bell before I even did anything. So hold on. I forgot to ring the bell to allow spirit to come through easier to know that they are welcome. I do that usually before I turn the camera on, but I forgot to. So now I think we're getting better. Yeah, the energy's different now. Okay. But yeah, there's just a lot of personal development changes that are going on. There's a lot of reevaluating if you were told something due to a jealousy factor of someone or if it was the truth. And that's kind of a hard part because when someone, because we're raised to actually, it's kind of funny because I heard this today where the way that we're raised, especially females or especially in the realm of feelings and emotions, we're raised to almost get a sense of envy or jealousy in order to aspire to reach your goals. You know what I mean? There is this weird negative backlash of, oh, I want this, or oh, I need this, so let me mimic or let me copy this. That is kind of grown within just like growing up. You're always seeing someone and comparing people, and that's like comes from school systems and stuff. But I feel like that Lilith energy is what's healing. Is there's no more envy. There should be no more envy, at least coming from people. There's no more need for like feeling jealous of someone doing something, because in all due respect and all due regard, if you are looking at someone and you are thinking to yourself, I can do better than them, then by all means do it. Because if you could do it better for them, if you can do it better than someone, you might as well do it. I mean, shut your mouth and put your money where your mouth is. Because if you ain't doing nothing, then you ain't shit. Gotta say it like that because some people gotta hear it like that. That's just how it is. But really, like, that's the energy that's being exposed, is these people who are jealous and they want to step up and take plate, but they're not. And it's nothing to do with them not having the skill level. It has nothing to do with like them not having the audience. They just don't believe in themselves enough to do so. And that's this Lilith energy that rips from the jealousy, the envy, and makes people go fucking crazy. I mean, listen, my Lilith placement is I think it's a 10th house Lilith. I think my Lilith is a 10th house. So that's why I have such combatant on my media and shit. People just don't like when I speak. There's just Lilith in me. I don't have an actual Lilith in my real life that represents that energy, and I've been working with my Lilith energy to heal it. All there is that reflection Lilith energy that's dying down. So that's why so many people fucking have issues with what I speak. It's literally just my Lilith placement. It's because I need that engagement. Somehow, some way need it. to almost show myself that I am needed somewhere else, that my voice is needed, because that's what Lilith is all about, is relationships. And that relationship between you and yourself, and wherever the Lilith is located, is like your relationship with you and your voice, or you and your emotions, you and your love life, you and your careers. However, it's that that's kind of healing. And it's so beautiful, because yeah, see, my friend's a Pisces Lilith. See, and I was just talking to them about that, and like Pisces Liliths have like a really hard time with like accepting, like either in like relationships, or like feeling like they are taking too much credibility, and that's a big thing as well as being worked out. Is like understanding that you can eat your cake, you have it, but it's not the fact that you took it from someone. It's the fact that you baked your own cake. It's like you're sitting there waiting to eat it, but it's like, I don't know if I can or not, but it's like, you can though, it's yours. It's understanding that you've put the work in. And it comes from a comparison of seeing other people who do these actions, and they're seen as greedy and stuff, that reflects onto you. And it's like this whole funny little mirror game where you see someone doing it and you're afraid of looking like that person, but how do you even know that that person's doing it in a greedy mindset? You know what I mean? It's like a weird deflection, reflection, projection type game. It's really funny. Lilith, Lilith is a moon. I would definitely look at the Lilith. Just look up Lilith in the Bible. It basically tells you what the Lilith in astrology is. Lilith, or you can look up even Medusa as well. Medusa is pretty much the story of Lilith as well. Same like realm of just the feminine energy being ignored due to it not being liked and or it being different. Lilith basically just being the emotional side that is ignored, the dark side, if you will, but not really dark because it's only dark because it's been ignored. Um, but I don't know, it's just a beautiful thing. But there's this understanding that you're allowed to be you. Like, I think that's the big thing that the year of Aquarius is really kicking in for people, especially now. And I'm gonna say this up until like January. Around January, people should fully be like comfortable in their full skin. You know what I mean? And comfortable doing what they need to do. But that is, that's just kind of how the astrology of it goes. I'm not saying that's gonna how it's gonna fully be. I'm just saying that's the astrology and how it should go. Um, you know what I mean? Everything's different for everyone, but it's like the the importance to know that you have put in all this work, and the only thing that's missing is your gratification, but you're looking for it as like some sort of reward, like an external journey. You know what I mean? It's like I have all these accomplishments that I have, but I don't see it on the physical yet. And it's because it's not supposed to be on the physical yet. You've done the physical work to receive a spiritual recharge, a spiritual blessing that then can be put back to the physical. It's going back to the self after realizing the accomplishments that you made. And that's why I always talk about like how far people's on for healing. That's how I always talk about like you're putting in a lot of work and how this stuff isn't easy. It's because we get caught in this loop, and I get caught in it a lot too, where you almost overheal because you overanalyze yourself, and you're in this like I can be better energy, which is beautiful because that's showing you that you're ready to go to the next level, and you will. But the divine needs you to just relax because it's not a race, and we're here to develop and explore. And there's still part of your old self that needs to express itself where you're at now before you can move on. So you can fully close out the chapter and easily smooth into the next one. It's all about. It's because it's funny. It's the way these cycles work. It's like I think it's a 3 to 6 month cycle. Yeah, it's a 3 month cycle, and then on the 6 month, it shows like the full development. But on the 3 months, so basically like I'd say around like November 25th or November 17th, between that range is around where the harvest starts to happen. That's when you actually start to um, see where you're heading. It's around that time where you're actually able to like gather some of the fruits that you have. and then let the rest kind of blossom and do their thing. And I even talked about this like way like it was my old videos, but it was talking about the harvest of last year's as well, and I kind of went over it too. And it's this same energy that's coming up, but it's clean. It's less of the harvest being collecting the information and the knowledge from the past cycles that you've gone from, and collecting the understandings of who people are from the last cycles, and more of understanding who you are. And instead of seeing other people and being like, I need to heal like them, or they're healed at this level, how can I do that? Focusing on you and seeing how you are healed. Um, the it's I don't know, because it always happens around December too. It's just this weird hibernation energy where a lot of people really just disappear for like during these 3 months, and it's not like a disappearance like a scary thing, but they go into like literal hermit mode and they just disappear off Earth, and they really alchemize themselves into a new being, so that when they come out of hibernation, it's a whole new energy present. And that's what's been going on recently. There's a lot of people who unfortunately have to be triggered, and it's not caused by a person that's triggering them. It's like there's an itch inside of the body that needs to be revealed. Like if there's like anger in you, or there's some sort of like spite or angst, or just emotion that you'd rather not feel, it's because that's that last bit that needs to release itself. That's the honest truth of how you feel about this whole situation that needs to leave so you can move on. Because transmutation isn't always the key. Sometimes the best way to transmute energy is to simply let it go and allow it to be, so that you can let it transmute naturally. Um, and that's getting in the flow of life. That's really just allowing things to be they are, because feelings deserve to be felt, um, despite how you think that of them. You can think of an emotion or a feeling as bad or evil, or like negative or whatever, but those things need to be expressed as they exist. And the more you allow that expression to happen, the more honest you can be with yourself, because you're no longer operating with that energy that you don't even resonate with to align with you. Um, but it's very beautiful. And yeah, Brandon, I wish you luck with hunting the demons. You got this, bro. You got that. Um, but it's super important just to like, as well, just follow your life path. Um, as well, just do what truly brings joy to your heart. And a lot of people get this fear, because I've been picking up on a lot of fear today as well. There's just been a lot of fear of like following with the heart, because it's one of those things where a lot of people are just now doing it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are just now like new spiritual way. I have to say it like that, because it really feels like there's people who are releasing these boundaries of how they used to think something should go, and these old belief systems that were holding them back to a degree that they're able to step out of and change. It's this understanding that you only get as far as you can think you'll go. So there needs to be a lack of thinking, and it's not to say that thinking is bad, but there's a difference between intellectual thinking and then having wisdom. And intellectual thinking is what a lot of people do. They look around, they get intel. Okay, that's blue and that's green, and there's 5 of those, and there's 7 over there, and like this makes you feel that way and that way. And they're trying to get all this data from it, when it should just be absorbed, and not absorbed in the sense to where you become over encumbered by it, but absorbed in the sense to where you understand why it's there, why these things exist, um, and allowing yourself to befriend these emotions really allows you to not really have power over them, but allows you to let go of them easier. Um, I don't really struggle with anger that much. I've learned what my anger is, and anger for me for a long point of time was I had an expectation of someone who I thought I knew, and or something that I thought was going to happen that wasn't met. And that brought up the frustration. But instead of it just being frustration, I allowed that frustration to create the emotion of anger, because frustration is a feeling. You can feel frustrated. But anger has the power behind it. When you're frustrated, you won't really do much. But when you're angry, that's when your body uses that energy externally. And I found out a lot of that anger is just because there are either things that I hid about myself that whenever they tried to come out, I would combat myself about them. It was just me not agreeing um, with myself. And I mean myself in both like a projection way and also in the way of it being me. In the sense of like I'm a mirror of you and a mirror of me, and as well as the sense of my self-conscious and my higher self. Because a lot of anger comes from you knowing deeper truths, but you not saying it because you feel like you're in trouble if you say so, or you feel like you are going to be seen in a certain different light. And this is all about really stepping in closer to yourself, because once you know who you truly are, once you understand who you are, and you know that you operate out of love, no one else can say anything else about it, because people will your ego, which the ego is just your brain, your ego is your thought consciousness, because your ego has free will. You are your ego. Without you, there would be no ego. There is always a spirit, there's always a soul, but without you there is no ego. There is no persona, no mask to hide behind. If there's you know if the spirit's not capsuled somewhere, if there's not a reason for it to be hidden, then there wouldn't be a need for an ego. But we all get this ego. Ego is man-made. Ego is not like a natural thing. It is man-made. It is made from the opinions of others. It is made from looking at people and assuming what they do, judging someone else, therefore judging yourself. You end up judging someone like, oh, I think someone's not gonna like if I do this, and then you do it. And maybe it's not that one person, but it's someone else that doesn't like it. You end up judging yourself through that, because it's like, oh, why shouldn't I have done that? These are it's just so beautiful though, because it's like these, I don't know, I've just always like loved this, and it's something that I've known for a while. I don't talk about this a lot, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit. When I was like 7, after I cracked my forehead open, I seen a lot of my life. I watched my soul leave my body, but I knew that I don't know, like there was a weird feeling that I knew that I wasn't going to die, if you know what I mean. um because during that whole time, I felt presence. I Archangel Michael was there for sure. Anubis was there. I even distinctly remember my heart being weighted. That whole scene, like that was just for me. Like I remember having to go through a whole ceremony. I went through the flame of Sekhmet. It was a whole bizarre thing to witness at 7 years old. I don't like I'm glad I'm able to remember most of it, but the rest of it I don't even remember. But while I was there, I just remember hearing all sorts of like things, and it was my internal dialogue coming out and talking to me in spirit form. It was my higher self I was hearing. It was like, you're gonna be going through this, like you're worried about this. I remember when I was little, like I didn't like my race. I was called the N-word at kindergarten. It was awful. Kentucky. But I remember being told like like you're not bad for having this, like you're a beautiful person. It's just all these things, like spirit literally, it was weird. It was one of the most loving experiences I ever felt, and being able to come back into the body and not even realizing it. The thing is, I blacked out in my dad's truck, and I woke up like a week later in my room. I don't know why they like brought me back to my room. I don't know why they took me out of the hospital. I guess I was okay. I guess I was just blacked out. I don't know. But I don't remember anything for a week. And I remember going back to school, no one talking to me. Everyone was freaked the fuck out because I died. Everyone knew I fucking died. It was weird. I didn't know I died until later. But everyone knew that I died. And my sister worked at the school, so of course everyone knew what went on. So everyone was freaked out by me. But I didn't understand why. But it showed me, it taught me from a young age that things, when you change, when something within you changes, when something within you dies, it's noticeable by people. It doesn't even have to be a physical death. It's a spiritual thing. I even from a young age, like me personally at a young age, I didn't change. I was like 7. I wasn't like even developed fully yet. I didn't even hit puberty. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know, I was doing like channeled writing in second grade. I didn't even know what that was. I mean, what was that, second grade? It was second or third grade. Second or third grade, I was doing channel writing. I didn't even know what that was. I was just scribbling in a notebook, and I didn't know what I was doing. But later on, I could read what it said because I actually got a funny story about that because I was doing channel writing. We were supposed to be taking notes in math class because it was the end of the year and they wanted us to like mark down our multiplication tables. But I was like channeled writing, and the girl next to me said, "I'm gonna tell on you because you're not writing the notes." And I said, "No, it said I'm writing the notes. It says what it says up there." And she said, "What does it say?" I read it verbatim what she said. I got in trouble still, but and that's just a funny story. But I learned from a young age that the flesh doesn't even matter. It's all about the spirit. And if something dies within your spirit, it is known by everyone because we're all spiritual. There is no flesh. The flesh is a hologram. The flesh is just something to contain. It's like putting water in a glass. It doesn't make the water glass. The water is still water. We are still a spirit. We are just contained. But we have the ability to reach out and evolve and expand, and that's really what the healing journey is about. Even if you aren't a spiritual person, just being able to move past boundaries and heal is the soul journey. You don't even need to be aware of it. Some people complete the life journey without even realizing they completed it because they just simply listened to what they needed to do in life. Like it's such a beautiful thing. And Robin, yeah, we do, but in due time. What I do is not my name's Zahara. You can call me Zahara, Z, whatever. You got people in here. You call me Luna if you want. I go by millions of names. I don't stick with one. People call me whatever they want to call me. I don't have control over it. Some people call me Zesty. I guess you can call me that too. I guess that's a new nickname. I don't care. We have fun. We have fun over here. But yeah, it's just the experience of life is taken so seriously. It's taken so dramatically. It's we base it off of physical things when we know that the physical is our issue, and it's just so important to know this. But not everyone's ready to think like this. God forbid someone has to go through an NDE to experience this type of enlightenment, but someone had to, and I guess my soul wanted to. And it's just one of those things where you just it has to happen. I just look at the chat and see Chesty. I love it. Listen, I think it's funny. I really love when those characters pop up because it really just reminds me like that's just who I am. I'm glad to know that like my energy is like a little bit zesty. I'm glad it gives that zing to it. It gets people's attention. That's what the divine needs, right? Is more attention. They need more attention. We're so focused on the physical, they need more attention. So if I can bring the spirit of zest somewhere, I'm doing something right, baby. Shit. But yeah, it's really just lightening yourself up, not taking things so serious, allowing yourself to express yourself, um, being adventurous, letting your inner child look through shit. Because it's like we focus on things, and especially listen on the spiritual journey. It feels like a very serious thing because yes, you understand that on the flesh it's not seen as a big thing, but in spirit it's a huge fucking thing, understandably so. And we have people who are like registered, like I'm a demon hunter, this that, like they got their own things going on, right? But at the end of the day, the totality, the wholeness of spirituality is truly doing what brings you joy. Those spirits that go out and beat the fuck out of those demons day and night enjoy doing that. Those spirits that enjoy going in the karmic situations to get that deeper healing, to get those deeper lessons, to involve in that way. These warrior spirits, they do these things. And it's embodying that because the battle is between your spirit knowing what it needs to do and the restriction that the brain causes, because the brain is what produces everything. It produces the hologram, it produces what's going to happen next. Your bad mentality produces a bad output. Your Good mentality produces a good output. That is just simple, like as that. It's what as you think, everything's gonna go. My battery's at 65%. I don't need to change it. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it. Spirit and I have fun over here. We have fun. But it's this understanding that even though it's a war, quote unquote, there is time for fun. The best way to fight is to allow your spirit to express itself in its fullest way. Some spirits are warrior spirits, but they came down to simply just have fun. They are tired of the war, so they come down, but the war follows them. And the war then becomes, am I going to have fun still, or am I going to focus on the break I'm taking? But it's it's all these beautiful things. And again, this is why I offer like one-on-one stuff now, because it's like because I was talking with my spirit team about it, and they're like, you probably should, because not a lot of people hear much. Not a lot of people like think like this. Not a lot of people can think like this. This is like advanced like consciousness. Honestly, it's weird. It is weird because when you get down to the point of like realizing the tidbits and the mechanics of yourself, it becomes this like game almost to fight yourself, to fight what your instincts are. And you don't necessarily have to fight your instincts. You can change them. Your instincts are based off your past, and if you don't relate with the past and you only focus on the future. I mean, not on the future. Excuse me. If you only focus on the present, not the future. Excuse me. If you only focus, yeah, thank you. If you focus on the present, it allows you to free yourself from that past. It allows you to free yourself from the instinctual habits that you have, because you're no longer able to, like. Battery 60. I cracked myself up with that one. That was funny. Sorry, but yeah, it frees you from the past, because all the past does is keep you stuck in this box. Um, it keeps you stuck in this energy where you feel like everything comes from like an aggression or an aggravation or an attack or an assault. Because yes, in the past you were under that victimhood, you were under attack, and you didn't know how to get up. So yes, it's not to say, because it's like whenever I speak, and this is a huge issue with why I speak, this is why I have a huge issue speaking. It's my Libra in me as well. I know and I understand a lot of these steps, but I don't necessarily speak on them. Whenever I say that there's not anything, it's because I consciously am aware of the wholeness, and I understand that that doesn't exist unless I allow it to. It's just whatever's happening is happening. I don't define it. So whenever I say things like victimhood isn't a real thing, I'm not discrediting anyone. If I ever say that these attacks aren't real, I'm not saying that you're batshit insane. I'm here telling you that the emotion, the feeling of that comes from a past, and it is not as you feel. There is a bigger image to look at. It's happening within the present moment. Um, and it takes a hard it's a hard thing to understand. It really is. Especially if you're in the midst of it, which is why I always state like I completely understand. Like I try to be transparent as possible by letting you all know I understand all these things, but it's something that wastes time going back to talk about. But these ideologies that come from the past of you not knowing, now that you're in the present and you're able to know, these things no longer should affect you. Not saying that they won't affect you, because they will pop up and test you, but they shouldn't drag you back down to their energy. It shouldn't drag you back down to the lower vibration that you weren't wanting to be at, the vibration that you're not desiring to be at. And this is that healing, that release, that understanding of, just because in the past I would be afraid, why do I still feel that fear now? If I know I changed. And you change every day. You always do. And the thing we tend to forget about this on the spiritual journey, we don't do a lot of heavy work all the time. A lot of our work is tiny little pebbles that have just stacked up over top of each other. Or there are multiple little things that we got to do that feel chaotic and they bring us anxiety, so to speak, when we focus on them or when we have to do those activities. But that anxiety isn't anxiety. That anxiety is the energy that you were requesting to be able to do those tasks. You know what I mean? And we fall back into those cycles. It's the healing of that. It's the healing of understanding that the energy comes to you pure out of strict nothing but love, pure love. All energy comes to you from love. The divine does not send any hate. Anything that happens on the physical has to happen in the spiritual first, so it is strictly from love. Anything that happens to you that is not love is distorted by man tenfold. That's just how it is. Anything that is distorted from love is distorted because man. Because you allowed yourself to think differently about it, because you told yourself it wasn't this, because you assume that someone's doing something that they're not doing, because you put your own judgment on it. When we all understand and understand and overstand that the divine loves us, why do we still feel these energies of hate? And this is out of me, out of malice, and I'm not getting anything because I'm worthless. It's none of those things. It's happening to you for love. Sometimes the divine holds things back because you need that break, you need that rest, and you're not giving it to yourself. So the divine has to do something to you to give you that rest. And it's up to you to view that as an opportunity of love and growth, and to see the divine saving you from you, which happens a lot, by the way. The divine will always save you from yourself before they save you from someone else, because you will be the first person to get yourself in trouble. Someone else won't. If you follow them, it's because you followed them, not because they told you to. You know what I mean? It's the accountability. And that's another thing I really want to talk about is accountability. Accountability is crazy. Or we love raining. Go out. I don't know why I was about to tell you to go out in the rain. I guess you got to go out in the rain. Go out in the rain. If it is raining, get you some rainwater. Go out in the rain and literally just cleanse yourself off. Going out in the rain is like a spiritual bath. I'm not even joking. Seriously. But like, if you feel like you gotta get some rain, get some stuff. Get some mason jars filled up with that water. I'm telling you, especially because we got those two moon. Listen, we got the Nuwapan energy up in here. We got Nibiru up in here. We get that moon water. Get that rainwater. Get that natural water. Go on. Seriously, but no, it's about accountability as well. Heavily on accountability, and that's one thing that people are like scared of doing. Because when you take accountability, you usually have that one asshole that's like, yeah, I told you so, man. Well, now you don't have that person in your life anymore, right? The only one that could do that to you is you. You know what I mean? The accountability of understanding that in certain situations where you feel like someone is doing something to you, you must first agree to the action first. You must accept what they're bringing to the table. The accountability of seeing where your power and your energy really goes is like a power move. Um, Taking accountability for your actions, even if you know that you made a mistake or you did an action wrong or you acted out of haste or out of ill intent, taking accountability for that removes everything. A lack of accountability can be seen as sin. We if you want to compare sin to anything, compare it to a lack of accountability, because sin is genetic in its sense to where the same patterns of sin, the same things that keep you in cycles, are passed down from generation to generation. And it's up to you to take accountability of those actions. Yes, I understand that I am not emotionally mature because I was raised in a house, in a household or a family that was lacking that. I'm taking the accountability to switch that and to move that so I can better myself and better my entire family energy by proving that I can step out of that cycle, taking accountability for me and understanding that their reactions are not because of me. Their reactions are their reactions. They could have reacted in a plethora of different ways, but they chose to act that way based off how they feel of me. that has nothing to do with me and has everything to do with them, allowing them to keep their accountability, but understanding that the hurt, the pain that you feel is because you at some degree agree with it. At some level you're like, yeah, that's true for me. Yeah, I understand that and that sucks for me. That's why it hurts. But that accountability of understanding that, yeah, I might think of myself subconsciously that way, but that's changing now, and changing those things on the dot, saying something like, yeah, I understand why this hurts my feeling, or I understand why I can't accept these things, but I'm going to change them now. I'm going to attempt to change these things now. And stepping into that energy puts you into the energy of being able to accept it. Because when working with the divine, especially working with the divine, working with ancestors, doing anything at all on earth, really, it must have divine permission and divine energy. Without the permission, it does not get the energy. Without the energy, it can't do anything. Nothing would work. So the divine always tells you yes, but sometimes they'll tell you to hold on. And a no is never a decline. A no is just not now or not this. But yes, but not this. The divine never declines you. The divine will only move you around to what is better for you. They see what pleases the flesh, but they know what pleases the spirit more. Um, and understanding that anything that works on earth has to have that divine energy. You have to step into that divine energy because it's already there. The healing energy is around you already. That's why people are able to do Psychum and Reiki and to read all and read tarot and to heal and stuff, is because that energy is already there. They wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't there. It's not that they're conjuring the divine up to do those things. It's that the divine already knew you were going to do that, set up everything for you. Now you just have to do it. And if you don't do it the right way, you don't do it the right way, but that's okay because you use the energy that they gave you. That's all it is. As long as you show grace and gratitude towards it, you're fine. But when you ask for healing and you ask for understanding and you ask for the divine help, it's already there. What you're really asking for is it's seeing clear, being more aware, really allowing yourself, telling yourself, hey, I want to be aware of this now. Hey, I've gone down this path for a while. Let me see what this is like. Let me do these things. Seeing that, understanding that the lack is because you aren't asking for it. The divine will give you anything you ask for. Don't ask for it like with fear. And if you have to ask with fear, state first, I am in an energy that is causing me to feel fear. You are not fearful. The energy around you makes you feel that way. And you want to see clearly through that. Why am I scared in this situation? Divine, show me why this energy is showing me a fear that's inside of me. What am I not seeing correctly? Because it's perverted. It's not pure. It's been dimmed. It's been condemned, if you even want to say. It's been changed into a new form that shouldn't be. You've transmuted the pure love into an emotion that shouldn't be there. Not that it shouldn't be there, but an emotion that doesn't fit in your vibration. I'll say that. Energy that doesn't fit within your vibration. That's a better way of saying that. And when you ask for healing or clarity or for finance or anything, you're asking for a pathway to be revealed. Not necessarily asking for these miracles to fly out of the sky. You're asking for a path to be revealed. And it's because everything's available to you at the tip of your fingers, truly and honestly. I mean, listen, how long has that not gone off for? Listen, y'all think it's just a normal beeping. I'm not telling. I don't know. Y'all might not live the spiritual life that I do then. It ain't no normal beeping for me. That's the spirit talking to me. Anytime I'm on something, clicks, I'm telling you. But it's understanding that and really allowing yourself to not only be aware of the what the divine is going to show you, but also not being scared to walk down that path, not being afraid to embody that energy, because it can feel scary. It is energy of the divine. Though we are made of the divine, we are dealing with fleshly matters. We are dealing with the flesh. And the flesh sometimes cannot handle that pure divine love. That's why some people will react differently to different types of to your love. Maybe your love is too strong for some people, you know what I mean? And that's just the reason why is because your love is from the divine. And when the divine gives you that love back, it can feel uncomfortable. It can feel stressful, strenuous, fearful, because that's how much love's going into it. You have barriers inside of you, and I do too. I say you whenever I even talk. I don't talk at anyone directly. I don't put blame on anyone. Whenever I say you, I mean you as in everyone. Because when I say you, I mean me. When I say you, I mean you. Because I'm just you, you're just me. All we're doing is talking, you know? But when ooh dang, they cut me off there. But no, yeah. Um it's super important to allow the divine to just to guide you in those ways. They cut me off there. They don't want me go digging any further. I'm pretty sure the seed's been planted as well. It needs to be. But that's just another thing. Allowing just life to flow. Getting into the flow of you is really what anyone wants. Allowing the divine not to control your life, but to assist your life, because it's your power. It's 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 your gift. Um, to be saved by the divine, to be protected by the divine while being here. You know, that's just part of the memo of being down here. But it's the fear of divine actually protecting you. It's the fear of the flesh failing you and the divine putting energy into other flesh to help you, and those flesh failed. It makes you feel like you're gonna fail yourself almost, but you shouldn't. Because when the divine puts energy in you, you understand what it's used for. Everyone does. Even if the divine puts energy into you for something good, oh, yeah, I'm gonna give you energy to go on this walk, and you use that energy to like not go on a walk. I don't know. You just waste it. You know, you sit around watch TV all day. You use that energy to watch like a movie or something. It's not saying that you use energy wrong or anything, but we understand why we have the energy that we get from the divine. So with accountability that's happening with this healing, I really I want to say I really hope um, that this healing does bring a lot of accountability to people, um, because accountability sets you free. Accountability has nothing to do with pleasing another party. Accountability will set you so much more free because it shows you what the divine really, it shows you the actual truth. It shows you why you're receiving certain energies. Oh, I'm receiving energy to go do this. And if I don't do that, then that's okay. But what am I going to put the energy to instead? Is it going to be something that's still going to benefit me, or is it going to be something that's going to like relate to an old cycle of mine? You know what I mean? That's why the divine gives infinite chances, because it's one of those things where we have to learn. And as being here on earth, the hardest thing to do is to trust flesh, because we've been taught by other flesh that we can't trust them. It becomes hard to trust ourselves because we know that we're going to bump into other people, other flesh, and it's hard to trust that the divine's not going to bump you into someone that's going to misuse that energy, because when the divine gives that person the energy, it's done purely. And it's understanding as well, like allowing your inner child to see this, not allowing your thoughts to listen to this, but allowing your inner child to listen to these things, allowing your inner child to know that it isn't you. It isn't you. It's only you when it is you. It's only you when you have a reaction to it. It's only you when you feel a certain way about it. It's only you when you act a certain way about it. If you allow yourself to act differently than you normally would, or to respond differently, or even just to walk away, that shows more accountability on your behalf. It shows you that you're aware. The ego no longer belittles you and says, "Oh, you shouldn't have done this. Oh, you shouldn't have done that." It then tells you, "Hey, this is what we could have done." And it's like, "Yeah, we could have done this." It becomes less of like an argument that you're having with someone inside of your head and more of like a, "Hey, I could have done this instead," because you don't need to get rid of the ego. What you need to do is view the ego differently, because the ego helps and the ego can destroy. The ego can make someone extremely boastful, and the ego can make someone extremely like self. What is that word? I don't want to. Is deplorable the word I'm really looking for? Damn, that's a tough. That's a vibration and a half. No, but yeah, some people just like go in that self-loathing with the ego as well. It's about turning your ego into, you know, instead of being like all on top of the world, being like, I can do whatever I want. I can do anything I want, just not everything. And that's where the ego needs, that's what really the ego needs to understand, is that you can do anything but not everything, because we tend to get in this, oh, if I can do everything, then I want to do everything. Yeah, but you don't have enough time to do that. Well, you have enough time in this flesh to do it. You have enough time totally in eternity to do it. We got an eternity to do all this shit. So don't worry about that. Worry about what you have now. Allowing yourself to truly just be within the flow of you. And that's the hardest part, because we don't know who we are. That's why it's so important to meditate. That's why I always like, I know like I get side eyes and weird looks for the way like, how I talk and stuff, but it's just because I understand deeper things. I've seen things, I've gone through things, I've survived things, I've healed from things that not many people can or will do. And it that's why I talk so hardly about like, don't watch these karmic readings anymore and stuff of that nature, because it's something that wears on the brain, because it becomes this addiction. Because by, I have to say it like this, by nature we are trained to like bad things. We are trained to like destruction and gore and violence because we've grown desensitized to it. So if that's the normal, then having peace and love and, you know, all those high vibrational energies feel chaotic because it's not as in your face. You know what I mean? But it's so important. And yeah. I'm not saying that no one else has gone through heavy stuff either. Like that's why I have a hard time thinking. It's just my lead thing where I like, just to get the point across, not really putting importance on top of anything. And that's why I'm easily misunderstood. I'm a triple air sign. I'm meant to be misunderstood. Like I have a like I'm just meant to be misunderstood because everyone is. We all have our own understanding of things, you know? I might make sense to a few people, and those few people like, hey, welcome, and everyone else like welcome in too. It's not something that you have to agree to. It's just something that needs to allow you to see it in your own light. It doesn't need to be by my word. In fact, you could listen to someone else speak the same things I'm saying in a different way and everything, and you might get the same message. It's just this beautiful, I don't know. It really shows you what the ego does. And that's why I love like my whole channel. I don't I've just you can like my whole channel is like an ego test. I swear. I think spirit just used me to test people's ego or something. I don't know. Cuz I've like busted mine down to bits and shit. Like it's funny, it's so funny because like I've because it's happening again where I'm just losing a bunch of people, and it's not like it's an issue. I just like watching it because it really shows me like I'm on to something again. Like I'm really out here healing people because if I because listen, if you got to go away to heal, beautiful, because that's just showing you that you're putting too much pressure on yourself. It's like it's just the divine. The divine has these very intricate, beautiful plans, and I'm just glad to be part of it. I'm glad that you all get to be part of it too, because even it doesn't even matter if you're witnessing it or you're just here listening to it or you're here trolling about it. You're part of it. You're part of the divine experience. Even if you're on this channel or someone else's channel or on no one's channel or on your own channel, you're part of the divine experiment of seeing if you're able to truly see yourself in others, if you're able to truly be who you are, to allow others to be who they are. Because really, and really, I think this is like a personal opinion. This is a personal thing for me. I truly feel like everyone needs to step on their own soapbox, because we're all pushed in this like corner where we're afraid to speak our minds. We're afraid to send that email, or we're afraid to like write that book, or to make that song. We're afraid to put our voice out there. And our voice doesn't even have to be our voice. Our voice can be our writings, or our sonics, or however. It's just so important to speak, even if it's not to anyone, just to speak to yourself, speak out loud. It doesn't even matter if anyone's listening. Yeah, and I know you're not trolling. I just say that, I like, including everyone. No one's excluded. I don't exclude anyone. Everyone's included. That's just how it is. But it's really expressing yourself, because what your ego does, and it's kind of weird, because your ego and your inner child talk a lot, because your inner child wants to do something that will bring it joy, that will bring it that love, that comfort, that protection that it desires. And you have the feeling, because he's like, yes, I want to do it. But then your ego, oh, but they'll think I'm annoying. Oh, but I can't do this because XYZ, or I don't know how to publish a book, or yada yada this, or yada yada that. When there's multiple other solutions to do so, you don't have to be like a top-selling artist to write Arthur to write a book. You don't have to be like an avant-garde artist to paint or make a song. You just have to express yourself. It does not matter how amateur or professional it sounds. It is an expression of you that cannot be replicated by anyone else under any circumstances. It will not sound like them. It will mimic them. It will never have their true energy. And that's the one thing that I genuinely feel like people need to do, is just to express themselves. Even like, again, like, because it has less to do with like getting somewhere big. It has nothing to do with getting somewhere big. It just has to be with expressing yourself and being honest, and really allowing yourself to free yourself the limitation that you believe that you aren't going to be heard, or the limitation that people are going to come at you. And listen, like I always say, use me as an example. I have people in here that come in and love the shit that I say. I got people who come in here and are confused of what I say. And I got people who come in here and don't even pay attention at all. I got the whole spectrum here. But that doesn't stop me, because it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. And that's how you have to jump into it. If someone agrees with it, cool. But I'm not doing it for someone to agree with me. I'm doing it because it's what my soul wants to do. It's what my heart wants to do. It's what makes me feel comfortable. It's what gives me peace, is being able to speak, to being able to do what others wish to do, just to be heard, to be listened, to share love, knowledge, to show people that they're not alone. All these things you can do. And it's super important to stand on your own and to say these things, and to not take offense when it happens, to not assume that someone's doing something bad, to just stay in your lane and to understand that you are what you are, and you cannot say what someone else is without you being that first. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even pay attention to the part that you disagree. That's the issue. Like, don't focus on the disagree. Just allow it to be. I think in life, you need to disagree with anything. A disagreement is an issue on because if it wasn't, you wouldn't disagree with it. Just allow it to be. To disagree, to say that something's incorrect or wrong, or to assume, is to put a blockage or put a dam in the water. It's not going to flow. You're going to stop it right there. You're not going to get what you need out of it. Because the divine has this really funny plan where random people get drugged into your life for a reason. And what you hear is what you hear, and when you listen is when you listen. And what you pick up on is what the divine has for you. So nothing is useless, and nothing you should disagree with unless you are in disagreement with yourself. Because all that is. And I would not be here speaking if it had nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? There would not be a reason for my voice if it did not have a place to be. So never say that anything doesn't resonate or fits you. It does. You're just not aware of it yet. It's awareness is the issue. Because we're told one thing and we're not open, because we're afraid of switching our beliefs. Because we're told that switching our beliefs is like a scary thing. It's a hard thing. But Just understanding that everything happens for you, not to you, but for you. It's to benefit you. It's to show you something within you that you yet have to see. Other people will see it in you, but you won't see it into yourself until you actualize it, until you take accountability for it, until you actually see what's going on. And that's what I do. I just like bringing awareness to things because it's beautiful to be aware. It's stress free to be aware. It's not as scary to be aware as you think. The only reason we have a fear of being aware is because we understand that the people around us aren't usually the best people. We understand that a lot of people don't actually like us. They just use us because we know something that they don't, and we'll gladly give it to them. You know what I mean? That's what we have to understand. That's the stagnation. Once we break that, once you break that, once everyone breaks that, truly and fully, there will be no fear for speaking. There will be no fear for standing out because you'll understand that there is no standing out. You know what I mean? There is no standing out. Because how can you stand out if everyone else is standing out? That's the thing. We're all unique. What is it? The fucking like Starbelly Sneeches or something? The Dr. Seuss book? Read that book if you haven't. That's a good book. The Starbelly Sneeches. I think that's what it's called. I remember getting that book read in like 4th grade, and I understood what that was, and I kind of got scared because I seen myself do that within school, and it scared me a little bit. So I stopped like talking to people for a while. Oh man, no, I have a funny childhood. I really do. Like, despite all the other stuff I've gone through, my childhood has just been funny because my inner child has not died. My yeah, it was, I mean, and you're right there. People are, everyone's weak. Everyone has their weak point. People are weak until they are strong. You are always one thing until you become another. So always understand that you are all. You know what I mean? It's my favorite quote. Be picky choosy, but don't be picky choosy. You know what I mean? Pick and choose what you want, but don't keep it because it's change on you. But it's such a beautiful thing because it's just like, never let your inner child die. I'm really telling you, never let your inner child die, because your inner child will bring you so many things, especially, and this is like, especially for those that did not have a good childhood, because though your inner child has this energy in you, whenever your inner child has that like abandonment issue, it wishes to reverse it. That's why it's so prevalent. That's why it needs to be fixed so much. That's why it hurts so much. Is because it's like, if we fix this, we won't have to worry about this anymore. We'll leave this. We'll leave this. And it's important, to step into that. To step into that true inner child glory, and damn, why are you flipping out like that? You're just going crazy. Hold on. Yeah, no, the divine going crazy in here. We got spirit going on. I don't know, because like, I don't know why it wants to flicker so much. It doesn't flicker like that ever. So like, that's just 101 right there. Spirit's like in here. Thank you for being in here, spirit. Oh, word. Okay, so Tahuti, Thoth, Thoth, whatever. Got you. But yeah, it's so important. I don't know, man. It's like reading your own book. You know what I mean? It's like opening up yourself and reading your book and seeing yourself as a character, because that's what you are, and healing from it. That's why books are so powerful. That's why like people like with music and like movies and books and stuff, when you read them, they can heal you. They can revitalize parts of your inner child, because those parts of your inner child, it speaks to it on a different level, on a different frequency. We're because it's super hard to remember. This is not super hard, I shouldn't say that, but it's difficult for some to remember that we're not solid. Everything is moving. Everything is moving to the greatest or smallest degree. On the macro to the nano, everything's moving. Everything's a vibration. And you have to understand that. You have to understand that anything you do is a vibration. Every thought you have is a vibration that sends out. Everything is. And when you operate out of the inner child energy, the energy of innocence, just because it's been dirtied and perverted by the mind, you know what I mean? It corrupts the, you know, it shows you the minted versions of what your inner child sees. It shows you through the lens of the past. But breaking through that, there's a lot going in. Hold on. The divine is like throwing a lot at me right now. But it is about an inner child healing that's happening. I feel like for a lot of people as well, like it's something, it really is like, I don't know. It's just the way the planets are. It's the fact that the eclipse is tomorrow. We got Scorpio, we got Leo, we got Libra. I think we have a planet in Aries. I'm not even sure. I think we have one in Aries. Um, and it was funny. Today, um, there were two things I seen. The first thing, I think the app is called Skywatch. I forgot it, but I have it to watch the sky, to look at the skies and stuff. I always use it for looking at the stars and stuff. It's a really good app. I when I clicked on it, I seen immediately the first thing that popped up was the constellation of Scorpio. So that immediately told me that there's a new beginning, a new chapter, an ending happening for something new to begin. And then it shot to the rabbit. I forgot what the rabbit's called. It's not called leper, is it? I think it's called leper. Is the I could just look it up. What am I doing? What am I doing? I can literally just look it up. Yeah, Lepus. Okay, it is. Yeah, it was the Lepus constellation that popped up whenever I like zooted it to my to my location, and I'm born in the year of the rabbit, so I found that really interesting as well. So that really told me something as well. But there's something just like like I don't know, like a late spring, if that makes sense. Like instead of you having like the rebirth in the spring where everything's blossoming, it's a rebirth that's happening during the winter. You know what I mean? It's weird. But I feel like that's happening because you've been in this hibernation for so long. You've been in this inner hermit energy, this mysticism energy where you're healing and digging in yourself. And you didn't even get to enjoy the spring or summer. So now it's like you're leaving hibernation and everyone else is going to be in hibernation, but you're going to be out moving and shit. You know what I mean? But it's because you found your flow again. It's because you're allowing your body to do what it needs to do. And sometimes the cycle needs to be disrupted within itself for it to fix itself again. But it's a very beautiful thing that's happening. Um, I think Venus is going to be next to the sun here soon as well. Venus is going to be next to the sun soon. And I know that for a fact. And Venus is in Libra. So that's going to be fine. But there's just a lot of love coming in, and that might be because of the, as people call it, hookup season is coming around. But for throwing that ideology out the window, if you listen, like yes, it's a thing for like the 3D culture, but I don't listen. I don't want to say hookup culture. Like, listen, that just brings bad juju up a little bit. That just tells you that you're gonna hook up with someone and they ain't gonna be there for a minute. Let's call it self-love season, baby. Let's stop calling it a hookup season, baby. Just call it self-love season, because you go in hibernation. All those animals, they're not hooking up and having sex. Those animals are sleeping together, baby. They hibernate with their family. They're loving each other. They ain't going around hooking up. It's not called a hookup season. We gotta switch this stuff around. At least I want to. I'm switching the way I talk, at least. Because, like, I don't know. Hookup season is so funny. I'll never understand stuff like that. I've never, like, and this is just like a personal thing for me. I've literally never, like, I don't know any celebrities. I barely know movie actors. I don't know any like musical artists. I stick to my own stuff. Like, I am very away from like 3D stuff completely. So like, I hear certain terms and it like makes me laugh because it's like really funny. Because I'm like, why do these things exist? But I understand why they do. So it's like it's funny because because like I understand them, but I would never use. I don't know why. I just wouldn't use them. It's just so beautiful. But that's like the experience of life that I have because I'm always just like I'm looking at shit through a spiritual, childlike eye. I can't look at reality with the serious tone anymore. I just can't. I'm tired of looking at life serious. I can't. It comes to this point to where you realize that I'm just stressing myself out because I think everything's so serious and it's a do or die. It's like, yeah, but it feels like a do or die because you know how important it is to you, and it's that like, oh, I have to do this. Well, you do have to do it, but you don't have to be as serious. You can play around, you can have fun and laugh. It's I don't know. It's so fun. It's so important to just have fun, and it's hard to have fun. Um, in certain circumstances, like having like a certain job, you can't really have fun there. Um, Sometimes you're just not in a very fun place, so it's hard to drudge up that fun. Yeah, never lose that childlike energy. I'm telling you, it will save you. And if you have lost it, no, you haven't. You just don't. You're playing hide and seek with it. Never say you lost your childhood energy. Just say you're playing hide and seek with it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You have to treat the energy as it's labeled. You really do. If you're having childhood issues, like just like I'm playing peekaboo, I'm gonna open my eyes. I'm gonna see stuff differently. Genuine, trust me. It sounds silly. It sounds silly, but you have to get in that energy to see it. You have to be in the energy to some degree. That song I posted on not Instagram, on the community tab. That song really helps me as well. Like I'll even listen to like video game tracks and stuff. Pokemon Dungeons Explorers of Time. I grew up on that game. That was the first game I ever played on the DS. It was Pokemon Adventure uh, Mystery Dungeons, Explorers of Time. That shit. Oh my god, dude. I love that game. And that OST brings me back to my like childhood self. It does something to my heart. I sit and like cry to that music if I have to. But that's how I get into that energy, that childlike energy. And that's what you have to do. The things from childhood, watching Disney movies, watching all these things from your childhood brings that energy back. It allows you to experience that joy again. It lightens the child. It wakes it up from slumber so that you can interact with it more. And during this self-love, a lot of people think that self-love, yeah, meditation, yeah, we're doing all these things, we're relaxing, I'm going out doing these things. Be sure to get back into arts and crafts. Your relaxation is getting back into hobbies, getting back into things that bring you joy, talking to people that maybe you haven't talked to in a minute, really allowing yourself to be open. Um, a lot of times on the spiritual journey, we're even told like, oh, don't go to back to anyone, be scared of everyone. Don't be scared of everyone. Just understand that you now are aware and now can weed these people out who have no goodwill for you, that are only there to irritate or to try to attack or to belittle you. Now you know those energies. And it's not like you didn't know about them before. Oh my god. I shouldn't have looked. I shouldn't have looked. I seen Bollywood. I shouldn't have looked. Bollywood's crazy. Bollywood and like B tier horror movies, like Blooper House and stuff, dude. Oh my god, you get me stuck on those, dude. Those movies and shit. I don't know where I'd be. I don't think I'd have like a sense of humor without some of them. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. But seriously, like understand that like these arts and stuff that you do is what your inner child like brings you. Like you have to step into it. You don't have to be ashamed anymore. Even if it's like you wear bright colors. Let's say you like the color yellow, and not a lot of people like the color yellow because it's a very high vibrational color. Like it's a bright color. You know what I mean? It's like wear what you want to do. Be that bright star. Because someone has to. And once one person does, other people will. It's the gravitational pull. It's the effect of life. That's why so many people are dissatisfied because no one has yet. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. The way I'm trying to say this is positioned within your life and within your circles, within your atmosphere, your environment. The reason why it's mainly dissatisfied is because no one in that environment yet has stepped up to that shining star yet, which is why we're all placed in different areas. That's why it's so hard as like light workers to meet someone who's another light worker that's close to you because we have a certain job for that area. Yes, we meet up. Yes, of course we talk and stuff, and it's very plausible. But you need to understand that you're in certain areas to lift that vibration, to show that vibration in that area how to raise and then move. It's beautiful. But again, we're raised in this type of way where we feel like people who stand up and speak boldly and proudly without like second guessing or backing down, we feel like they are off some sort of ego trip or power hungry, when in actuality it's that's just an assumption. They would be that way, or they think that they would be that way, or they fear that they would be that way. And for a minute, and let me tell you, because I had to heal from it too, there was a point in time where I wanted to do this and I couldn't do it, because I was like, nah, I can't speak like this, because if I start speaking boldly, I'm gonna get people mad, and yada yada yada. But what was really going on is I was looking into the future at myself. I was gonna get mad at myself. I got upset at myself for not speaking the truth for a minute. I got upset at myself for not standing on what I knew, and spreading my voice and helping people in that way. I got mad at myself. It wasn't that other people were gonna get mad at me. It was that I was picking up those energies from those souls that have already signed contracts to work with me, to hear the vibrations that I had to speak. Because in the spirit, we all agreed to meet up. We all signed the contract saying, I'm going to meet up with you. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do this, and this is how we're going to interact. We're going to do all these things. Like, it was that energy that I was picking up. It was the energy of, I'm not letting myself down, and I'm not letting anyone else down. I'm letting my contract down. I'm letting my soul down. My ego has nothing to do with it. My flesh has nothing to do with it. This is bigger than me. Someone else could be doing it, but this is bigger than me. It's the fact that when you step into it, that scared energy is just you getting used to it. And I mean, you can even look back to when I was first doing this. I was shaking a little bit when I was first doing it, when I was first speaking about things. I was shaky about it, because it's the energy. It's not fear. It's that energy. It's that power that comes to you that you're not used to. It's that power that you end up becoming afraid of because you've seen how other people have changed. But the difference between you and them is that you are afraid to change to that. So it's okay for you to have that energy, because you know that you can't do that. And even if you did, you would snap right back. It wouldn't last for very long. It would happen and you'd be like, nah, that's not me. I'm gonna step back. That's the difference. You have that awareness. You have that uncomfortability that makes you more compassionate, that lets you speak from more of a heartfelt area, because you're no longer wanting to get a point across. You're just wanting to speak and to talk to souls. That's why some people don't understand. That's why you get people who come in here and say, oh, they're yapping. They don't have a soul. They can't hear. They don't understand what I'm saying. Because I'm not speaking to flesh. I'm not speaking to mental or flesh. I'm speaking to soul, directly to soul and spirit. That's how I choose to talk. That's how I wish to talk. That's just how I am. I'm a spiritual being. That's how we are. And so it's so important to allow yourself to absorb it with the spirit, absorb it with the soul, not the mind of the flesh. Because it's that I don't know. It's the fact that it can get just misconstrued. I'll leave it like that. Thanks. I get jumbled with my words sometimes. You know how it is up here, but genuinely, it is such a beautiful, freeing experience to just allow yourself to, be honest and to be fluent in what you need to do, and not to worry. But regardless, I feel like this is what All Spirit wanted me to talk about, was just a little bit about the moon, a lot about responsibility, just loving yourself, inner child stuff. Yeah, thank you. But really just pay attention to how the energies are working around you. And I mean working around you, because they're not trying to work at you, they're not trying to attack you, they're working around you. See what they're trying to do. Look at situations as opportunities for growth, and allow yourself to expand, and don't be afraid. Like, heavily don't be afraid, because this is a very transformative time. But regardless, and don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. You have to, in order to succeed, you have to fail to some degree. You have to. You have to understand what failure is to understand why you're doing it sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But regardless, thank you all so much for being here. I love you all so much. If you're wanting any of the services, readings, one-on-one service, second healings, energetic healing, prayer work, spirit guide communication, whatever the heck, it's all in the description. You can email me about it as well. I got you there. But regardless, thank you all so much for likes, comments, shares, and subscribes and donations, whether they are energetic or financial. I appreciate both of them fully. I don't know when I'll see you all again. I'm going to be very busy. I'm going to be very not. I'm going to be more in a lucid state. I'll say. Um, I don't. I'm going to be bouncing around basically. I'm not going to be in this location anymore. I'll leave it like that. I'm going to be bouncing around places, just living life, doing what I got to do. I'm perfectly fine, so don't worry about me. But I just need to point that out because if I respond to an email or if you've had one of my services, and I don't respond the same day, that's just why. But regardless, I love you all so much. Please take care of yourself. Please keep moving forward on your journey. Know that the divine loves you. Know that everything's happening perfectly. The world is perfect. The only thing that is not is the way that you're perceiving it. And I promise you that tenfold. I really do. But I love each and every one of you so much, to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. And I will see you later. I just love you all so much. I really have to get this out. I'm just like genuinely from the bottom of my heart, because like my biggest fear, because it's been my biggest fear ever, is just speaking. Like, let me be real. I gotta talk about this for a minute, because my biggest fear ever has been to speak. Is just to speak my mind, because I've always spoke my mind to people who were around me. They didn't understand me, and the divine has always pushed me towards speaking like this. I did streaming for a minute on Twitch, and I still kind of want to go back to doing that whenever I can, because that was kind of fun. But then I got called to doing this, and I got called to doing tarot. And when I was doing tarot, I found out so much like joy from helping people heal. But it wasn't the fact that and here's the fun part about my whole journey. It's not that I don't like tarot. It's that I want to do more than tarot is allowing me to do. You know what I mean? I love doing tarot. Tarot, it's the thing that got me. It's the thing that like saved me from like one of my death experiences. I was locked in a basement. If I didn't have tarot, I wouldn't have had that energy, that love. So it's not like I hate it or anything. It's just I want to do more. And it's not even like a fleshly desire, it's a heart. Like the fact that I have people that listen, the fact that you're here and you understand and you wish to grow, heal, and evolve, it gives me more purpose. It gives me more of a meaning for myself, because I no longer have to worry about only talking to that one friend that understands me. It's now I see the actual projection of my energy. It's the divine really making up for all those lacks. And I really want that to just be known, because when you do these things, when you get blessings from the divine, they don't come at you the way you think they do. The ones that I've stuck with this channel for the longest time, this channel has blown. Why did I get a Twitch support? Why am I? Okay, I see you. Sent me a Twitch support email. I see you. Rapscallions, I see you up there. No, but really, and I honestly mean this from the bottom of my heart, the divine never blesses you in the way that you expect. The ones that have been on this channel, you have seen how fast this channel has grown. It's not even a year old yet. I haven't been on YouTube but like less than a year. It's about to hit a year. But my channel has grown exponentially fast. And it's because of so much abandonment, so much lack, so much people ignoring me and not listening to me and counting me out, that the divine showed me how it was. Showed me that I was just looking at the wrong people. You really, really, really have to understand that the divine makes up for everything. They do not leave you hanging, and they will make up in the most beautiful ways. All you really have to do is follow your heart, genuinely. Like, that's the message I really want to leave off with, because I think that's my biggest testimony I've ever had with the divine. But this, besides the point of being brought back to life, despite the point of like being starved for 3 months. This reward, it means more than anything, than any flesh could give me, is the fact of just being understood and heard. That is the reward that means the most. That is the blessings of the divine. Fuck finance, fuck money. Just a connection, a genuine soul to soul connection is all that matters, dude. Tenfold, hands down. I love you all genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I will say it till the fucking cows home. I don't care. Okay? I love you all so much, to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. Please stay on this path. Stay safe. Take a break if you need to, but stay pure. Stay true to yourself, tenfold and forever. I will see you later. Please take care.